agree with his assessment. This is exactly what I was saying yesterday, is they've done a good job of attracting and acquiring a lot of talent. The teams that are good and have drafted well, pay the guys you got. If you're out in this free agent frenzy paying big bucks for players, that suggests that you haven't done as good a job. And they can't spend a lot of money on these players because they do have a lot of good players that they need to pay, and they can't tie up their money in free agents.
Understood, which brings me to a couple of questions. The first one, Dan, is for you. There is a perception out there, and I think I am one of the people who hold it, but I will defer to your expertise. Is the Dak Prescott contract looming over them, hamstringing what the Cowboys are able to do?
Look, if you have a $59.5 million cap charge assigned to one player, it has to, right? Like, you're working around that no matter what. The Cowboys would tell you, well, he's the quarterback, right? Like, if you're going to lay it out. So they either have to extend him or get comfortable with the idea of working around that number. And so far, they haven't been able to extend him, and we'll see what happens there. But I think it would be foolish to say that that's not a factor. I mean, you know, they have a budget assigned for free agency that might conceivably be larger if their quarterback's cap hit weren't the highest in the league.
I think it's a factor, but we have to acknowledge that we all warned them about this years ago when they were franchising Dak and messing around with his contract. I think this is mismanagement, honestly, how they ended up in a situation when you had a quarterback that you knew was going to be here for a long time. You sign him to a deal as early as you possibly can. You don't get in a situation where he has all the leverage.
I think that when you look at Patrick Mahomes, he set the model, right? Give him a 10-year contract that's really a dummy contract that you can always prorate, steal money, give him signing bonuses, things of that sort, if he was going to be your guy. But I do agree with Dominique that I think, I think they're doing a good job. I think they're staying patient. I think this is all in. Whenever you got to pay your quarterback maybe $55 to $60 million, you look at Brian Burns' deal, well, Michael Parsons is going to say, I'm better than that guy.
Right.
So that's going to be plus $30 million a year, right? Mm-hmm. And then you look at CeeDee Lamb. CeeDee Lamb is waiting for Justin Jefferson to get paid because he wants to go afterwards so he can top the number. That's going to be $28 million a year. Right. How much money do you really have?
No, I understand that. But another way of saying what you just said, Bart, is they're just basically going to have the same players. They're just going to be paying them a lot more than they have been previously.
Exactly.
And as a consequence, they're going to lose a bunch of other ones. So someone explain to me how they get better.
You have to graduate. You have to develop players within your system. I think, being able to go get Kendricks. Listen, I've always been a fan of his. For people who really don't know who he is and what he did in Minnesota, he was a Pro Bowler. He's a guy that understands. He's just as good or better than Van Der Esch. He's going to shore that linebacker position up. He's going to make sure that he mans the middle. Now they just have to figure out the running back situation, which everybody here has told us is easy to fill through college or through free agency.
The way you get better is the way that they've stayed good this entire time is you draft well.
Right.
We keep talking about getting cheap talent. Quarterbacks on rookie deals are not the only ones that matter on rookie deals. They've had Micah Parsons and CeeDee Lamb on rookie deals up until this point. Mm-hmm. They try to spend money to build around them. They can go out and get Gilmore. They can go out and get Cooks. They can go out and get – so that's how it's going to work. They're going to have to pay the guys that they have, but they're going to have to hit in the draft, and they've been doing it. So, we have to trust the process that they've been using up until now.
The draft in a salary cap league is about getting value in the first 4 or 5 years of a player's career, getting high-end production for low-end prices, and they've excelled at that. They've won 12 games 3 years in a row. They're doing something right.
When you win 12 games, you don't have a lot of improvement to do. You just need to get somebody to get you over the top. When you talk about all in, who knows? Somebody's going to fall through the cracks, right? You look at still good free agents there. Somebody's going to sign a one-year deal. Prove it deal, try and get back right, and they'll be able to pounce.
And there's a draft.
Right, there are 3 different ways you acquire players, right? Free agency, trades, and the draft.
Right.
The draft is, to your point,
and last year,
the most efficient one.
Last year they waited out free agency. They trade for Brandon Cooks. They trade for Stephon Gilmore, low prices. I mean, those were good deals.
And maybe they'll work out. Yes, look, no one can argue that they haven't been successful. The problem is that during this period of time where they've had all these players on these young deals, they've won a combined total of 1 playoff game, and that sort of has become the measurement, right? When you keep winning 12 games,
I don't think you fix that in March.
Yeah, that's fine. But that's what I'm saying. The reason why they haven't gone deep into the playoffs is not because they haven't gotten a major free agent. You're not going to solve that now. We can point to a lot of different things, but it's not because they haven't gone to made a big splash in free agency.
Maybe not. Like a lot of us thought that Derrick Henry would have fit very nicely. It would have looked really good with that star on his helmet. Well, I'll tell you what. Derrick Henry wanted to be a Cowboy, and as you heard him say on the radio yesterday, that interest was not returned.
Did Dallas pick up the phone? Were they involved in the Derrick Henry sweepstakes?
Not at all. I don't really know what's going on over there, but the Cowboys never called at all.
Now, were they on your radar? Did that surprise you?
I mean, of course, because that's where I stay in the off season. That's a great organization and been a great opportunity. But I'm thankful that I ended up here in Baltimore.
All right, that's what my guy Adam
He
Shine.
looks better in purple anyway.
Yeah, so first of all, make sure we give the credit. That's our buddy Adam Shine there from Mad Dog Sports Radio with a good interview. That's Derrick Henry saying, Dallas is where I live, Dallas is where I wanted to be, and they didn't even call me.
But I don't know how much money I got, right? I still got to handle the Dak Prescott, so I can't be going to get a luxury piece. Yes, he's a guy that you would love to have, but at $8 million, that's maybe more than what they had slated for the running back position. And Derrick Henry is a guy, they've experienced a guy, that's had a lot of wear and tear on their body and came in and listen.
Can he do that? Everyone they have, can they do that?
Or he can get hurt.
Derrick Henry's never going to get hurt. He's bionic. He's not even a human being.
People say that about Eddie George and Brandon Jacobs, but how did that end?
This is Dominique's least favorite.
I know.
First of all, I would have filed charges if I was guys. First of all, if I was his kid, I wouldn't take the trash out of nothing. Man, I see a grown man do like that, Dad. You can't chastise me. If I go tell Derrick Henry to come throw your ass.
Let's go back to the book. Go ahead.
The Cowboys got outbid by the Bengals for Zach Moss?
Yes.
$4 million a year. All right, they weren't going to $4 million a year. Derrick Henry got $8 million from the Ravens. If the Cowboys had called Derrick Henry, it would have been a short conversation because they would have said, "Hey, we got $3.5 million a year. What do you think?" And he would have laughed and he would have taken the Ravens call and signed with them anyway.
Overreaction Friday. Let's go through some things I think people are saying. Graziano, if people are saying Kirk Cousins makes the Falcons Super Bowl contenders, is that an overreaction?
Yes, like almost everything else people say the third week of March, right after free agency happens. Look, I think he'll make them better. They had terrible quarterback play last year, and at some point they may get there, but there's a lot of new there in Atlanta, a lot of stuff that has to be, learned. He's got to learn his receiver. Yeah, I think they'll be good, but I think it's early to call them a Super Bowl contender.
Okay, but by early you mean like 10 minutes from now on a green list when I'm going to say they're a Super Bowl contender. So we'll get to that in a minute. Meanwhile, next, if I were to say the Giants need to trade up for a quarterback in the first round, is that an overreaction?
It's not an overreaction. I think it should be on their minds. The Giants, I think, are looking at likely moving on from Daniel Jones after this season, and he's coming off of an injury. If you're the Giants and you have the opportunity to get a guy you think is a long-term franchise quarterback, you're picking at 6 and you can move up from there to get him, I think you have to take advantage of that opportunity.
All right, and there were some extenuating circumstances there as well we'll talk about. But let's then go to the pressure point. If I said the Bears should keep Justin Fields and draft Caleb Williams, is that an overreaction?
Yes, I think we expect the Bears to draft Caleb Williams at number 1 at this point. If they do that, I don't think they can keep them both on the roster through the offseason. I think that creates a very difficult and uncomfortable situation for both players, for your coaching staff. I think it's something. The Bears have been out there trying to trade Justin Fields in anticipation of taking a quarterback number 1. I think that's ultimately where this lands. When it happens, I can't say. But if they're on the roster together through the offseason, I think that becomes a very difficult situation.
Well, right now it feels like the biggest question in the entire NFL is what are they going to do? And so we went in search of answers by calling up our dear friend Courtney Cronin, our Bears reporter extraordinaire, who is working on a story right now about exactly this, about exactly where the Bears find themselves, which you were telling us this morning in the meeting, Courtney, is not where they expect it to be by this point. So catch everyone up. How did we get to where we are, and what can the Bears do from here?
Well, simply put, Greeny, we got to this point because the quarterback market played out in a way that left Justin Fields as the odd man out for now. No team traded for him at the Bears' asking price. And it doesn't feel like Chicago's necessarily in a rush to get him off the roster at this point. But as we get closer to the draft, deadlines typically speed up the action, and that could very well be what happens for Justin Fields as the Bears try to find him a new home. I know that everybody goes back to the combine and focuses on what Ryan Poles said, that